Hey, John with Simple Property Management, and today I want to talk about the City of Grand Rapids rental inspections. And I know what you're thinking. You don't want the government in your house. And unfortunately, if you're in the City of Grand Rapids, you have to let them in. But our goal today is to kind of give you a high level overview of what this entails. We'll go to a property, I'll show you around typically what they're looking for. And then that way you can successfully navigate the City of Grand Rapids rental inspections. So let's start from point A. They're going to send you a notification. Typically, that's through email. Once in a while, you get a letter, but typically it's through email. They're going to let you know that, hey, we need to schedule a rental inspection. And this is why it's very important to have your rental property registered in Grand Rapids. If you don't know how to do that, I will link another video down here, and it'll just kind of walk you through how to register a property. So then what you're going to do is you're going to schedule the show or the inspection with the city. Make sure you alert the resident, and also make sure a few days before the inspection, you remind the resident that you're going to be there on that date and time. I would also suggest, once you go over this and you see the list from the city of Grand Rapids, during a turnover, that's a great time to do a lot of this work. So window pins, smoke, make sure smoke detectors are all set. That's a great time when you don't have anybody in there. You don't have to worry about moving furniture or anything. You can just get most of that stuff done. And then during the inspection period, you don't have to worry about doing that, because that we'll come back to this on why it's important you do it during the turnover process. So on the day of the inspection, bring a pen and paper, make sure you write everything down. And I also say bring a couple smoke detectors, maybe some light bulbs, things like that, just in case you walk into the property and the resident took down all the smoke detectors. You can at least get a few up. That'll make the city a lot happier with you, and kind of continue your success to get this thing certified. But you're going to have to get everything done within 2 weeks. Otherwise, they're going to issue an NOV, which is a notice of violation. A notice of violation gives you more time, but it costs you more money, because there's fees and things like that from the city. So that's a reason why during the prep, we suggest doing a lot of this city work. So then you're not getting bogged down with the minutia of installing window pins and things like that when you only have 2 weeks to do it. So again, bring a pen and paper, write everything down, and be prepared to get the work done within 2 weeks, so then you don't get additional fines from the city. Additionally on that, if you've already had your first inspection since you've purchased the property, so you purchased the property, you have a rental inspection, and now you're on that second, third, fourth, or fifth one, or and so on. If you can get it done within 2 weeks and there's nothing, no big items on there, then you have a very high probability of getting a 6-year certification from the city. That's huge because obviously it just extends that time between certifications, which is great for everyone. So now let's go to a property. I'll show you around and I'll show you what we typically see that they're looking for. I'm sure that we're not going to mention some things that are on the list, but this is just a high level. This is typically what they're looking for. So let's go to the property and check it out. All right, we're on site, and let's walk through this house as if we were walking with the City of Grand Rapids for the inspections. Now, I'm sure there are things that I might miss, that might be on the list, but we're not going to talk about today. But we really just want to hit the big ones. So we just walked in. First thing they're going to look at is, the doors. Make sure your storm door, your screen door is in good shape. They want to see deadbolts on all exterior doors. So if you don't have a deadbolt, you have to switch that out. And also, if there's a double keyed deadbolt, which means it's keyed on both sides, those do not fly with the City of Grand Rapids. One other thing that they're going to look at is make sure that you have a light that works outside. So we do have a light, and actually I just tested it. We need to get a new bulb in there, but outside the entrances, you have to have a workable light. Closets, they just want to make sure that the closet doors work. One thing that we don't have on this home, but inside a lot of closets, there's a small light. and a lot of them don't have globes. Every light needs to have a globe on it, especially in closets. So let's walk into the bathroom first. So the bathroom, they're gonna check, make sure there's no leaks underneath these sinks. So they'll run the water, make sure there's no leaks. They're gonna make sure the toilet is tight to the ground. Obviously, a good working toilet seat. And you either have to have an operable window or a bathroom fan that works. So our bathroom fan works, so we're all good. Obviously things like just checking the shower, make sure everything drains. That's one thing they're going to look at. That's about it for the bathroom. And then we'll go with the hallway first. Hallway, they're going to want to see a smoke detector outside each bedroom. So we have one there that'll cover these two bedrooms down here. Let's check out this first bedroom. They want to see a smoke detector. Now note that the city of Grand Rapids does have smoke detector requirements. So you can't have it right in the corner. It has to be away from the corner. If it's on the ceiling, just anywhere away from the corner is fine. If it is on the wall, it needs to be between 4 and 12 inches. So it needs to hit that 4 to 12 inch mark. So it needs to be down at least 4 inches and above 12 inch. So all this is on the City of Grand Rapids website. Again, they're going to check closet doors. And then with windows, all windows that are accessible from kind of the ground floor, so that would be this one, need to have pins, which this one does. So you can see little pins there. So you can pop these out. Most of your vinyl windows have them. Of course, I can't get this one out. There we go. And basically, the window needs to be able to go up a little ways so you can get a little bit of airflow in here, but somebody can't come by and pop this window up and climb in. Additionally, the windows need to be able to go up and stay up, which they do. And they need to be able to lock, which it does. So a lot of times you'll have wood windows, and what you'll see is they kind of put a screw or put a hole through the edge, so they'll kind of put it up a little bit. And they'll just kind of put a hole through here into the window frame, and then there's an actual pin that they slide in. Blinds need to be in good condition. Ours are. Heating source, we have that. Bedrooms also need to have at least 70 square feet. So make sure, I see some people that are going to try to use an attic as a bedroom. A lot of times you don't really get the 70 square feet depending on how the roof line comes down, because you need to have at least 7 feet of headspace. They also want to see at least 2 outlets. And the outlets should be on separate walls. So here we have a few. We got 3, and then we have a 4th one right there. So we're good there. Walls in good condition. So we'll just kind of walk through this one. I have the outlets. And actually this window, this is a walkout home. So this window is not accessible from the ground floor. So we're good there. Just make sure it goes up, stays up, comes down, and it locks. So, and our smoke detector is good. So we would be good here. The walls are in good condition. All right, walkways, they just need to be clear, and your flooring needs to be in good condition. Let's go to the kitchen. So in the kitchen, what they're going to look at, they're going to test all the appliance, like the burners on the stove, make sure that the oven lights up. They're going to test this vent fan, make sure it works. They're going to run the sink, make sure there's no leaks underneath the sinks, make sure your faucet doesn't have any leaking coming out of the base or anything like that. Make sure the countertop and the cabinets are in good condition, so on and so forth. Now let's go into the garage. So you see we have a deadbolt. Technically, from a garage to a unit, you wouldn't need a deadbolt, at least right now. But we like to have them for additional safety. We're going to check out the garage door in here, make sure the garage door is in good condition, make sure if it's got a motor on it, a motorized lift like this one does, that it works. Exterior from the garage, from the outside into the garage, that has a deadbolt on it. And then one thing a lot of people miss is wiring. So, just making sure that there's no wires or open boxes or anything like that. All right, well, let's go to the basement. All right, now we're in the basement. Again, smoke detectors. They do also want to see a carbon monoxide detector on each floor. Most people are just getting a smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector combo and just putting those in. They're going to check the breaker box, make sure everything looks good in there. Yeah. Excuse me. And we do have carbon monoxide detector here. All right, so in the mechanical room, a couple of things they're going to look at. You're going to have to get your gas appliances, so your water heater and your furnace, if they're both gas, get those inspected by a heating and cooling specialist. They make sure that they're safe and everything, and then they put everything in online. The city can see it, and you can actually see if it's been done by logging into your City of Grand Rapids online account. And that's the same account where you registered the property. You can look it up by property address. And one thing that we see a lot is that somebody puts in a water heater or a furnace and they don't pull permits. So if it's a newer water heater or a newer furnace, they really want to see, you have to have a permit on it. So, and it has to have been inspected and passed. So make sure you get those done. A lot of times people will try to do that without a permit or do it themselves, but it will come back and bite you. Basement windows in good condition. And actually, we'll have to switch this one out too, but the city wants to see your vent from your dryer all hard piped, so the soft piping doesn't work. Outlets, you're in good condition. If you have a sump pump that's running, no water in the basement. This is another area in the basement where we've seen, excuse me, we've seen a lot of like open junction boxes with electrical and everything like that. But just looking around, I think we're pretty good. No leaks from any of the pipes, simple things like that. And then we'll just check out one bedroom down here. Okay. So basement walls are in good condition. We have an outlet there, an outlet there. We have a smoke detector on the ceiling. And then, so one thing that's a little different is if you have a casement window like this, one that opens to the outside, there's no way to pin that. So they're not worried about that. Another thing we see is where somebody will have a bedroom that's actually, they have the square footage and the headspace for the bedroom, but the window is too small. So make sure you have a big enough window. I don't really want to say specifications because the city changes that at any point. But um, yeah, all right. So we've kind of covered the basement. Again, just making sure things are safe, things are in good condition, all that kind of good stuff. So let's take a peek outside. All right, we're outside. Now down here you see the bottom piece of wood underneath the door. That's probably going to have to be scraped and painted. They're going to look at your deck. We have to do a yard cleanup at this property anyways, get all that stuff done. But just make sure your deck's safe. Chipping paint on top, on the handrail. That is, they're going to look at that. Also, they're going to check out this handrail, make sure this is good. This goes for even interior handrails. They're going to check those, make sure you have a graspable handrail. So outside, they're really just looking for, your normal chipping paint. You have a light outside the door. Your gutters are in good condition. These are in pretty good condition. They're about due to get cleaned. Downspouts are in good condition. And landscaping, you don't have like a bunch of paint sitting in your landscaping or something like that, paint chips or anything like that. Just has to be presentable. On the outside, they're also going to look at screens. They'll actually look at this when they're inside, but I forgot to talk about it. Screens, need to have one screen per room. I'm a believer that let's put screens on all the windows. Maybe you can't afford it on the first turn because they're not cheap, but let's eventually get them on all the windows. And then if a tenant moves out and it's ripped, we'll just bill them for it. So let me check my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, on the outside too, they're going to look at your driveway. If you have a concrete driveway, or an asphalt driveway, whichever one you have, make sure it's not failing. So make sure that's good. Make sure nobody's parked in the yard, everything like that. And landscaping's in decent condition. No furniture outside that can't be outside. So you can't have like a couch sitting outside if it's built for interior needs. And then, any other exterior structures in good repair. So that'd be your garages, maybe it's a shed, things like that. So I think we covered it all. It can be, especially on your first one, if this property had never been inspected before, we would come through, hopefully when it's vacant, do the things that we know that the city's going to call out, and then have the city come in and do their inspection, because your goal is to get it done within 2 weeks. If you can get the work done within 2 weeks, you get what's called a 2-week verbal, and then it's much less expensive. You're on the city's good side. And hopefully, if you've already had one inspection done before, so let's say it was certified, 4 years ago, comes back again, hopefully you can get a 6-year cert. And that is the key, is get the work done quickly with good workmanship and get that 6-year certification. But a caveat there, you cannot get a 6-year certification on your first certification of the property. So if you just bought this, you get it certified, you're not going to get a 6-year certification, but the next time you can get a 6-year certification. Any questions, of course, go ahead and give us a call. John with Simple Property Management, thank you very much.